What are you doing? But Emma, it's 3 a.m. What are you doing? Are you playing Battlefront? It's 3 a.m. and are you playing as the Separatists? Not you too. We had a conversation about this as a family. We said this is a no Separatist family. No clankers in this family are allowed. We talked about this. You can't be a Separatist, baby. Okay? She's playing as the Separatist, babe. She's not allowed to do that.
Why?
Because we serve the Republic, democracy.
And?
I don't allow it. I won't allow it. She cannot be serving the Separatists under my household. I cannot allow it to happen.
She can play whoever she wants to play.
All right, what's worse? Your daughter becoming a Separatist or Acolyte?
Oh, Jesus, come on, man. Definitely the daughter becoming a Separatist. Come on, Acolyte is amazing. What are you kidding me? Oh, please, no. Hell no. Oh, my God. Oh.
Cheers.
Oh. I'm just trying to even begin. I don't even know how to begin what I watched today. Hey, BK, my man. What up? I was happy to hear you was coming back. See, now you got two Hollywood insiders to tell you, to confirm that you're not imagining anything. This show sucks so bad at an epic proportionary level that it's going to just tanked. Yo, 4.6 billion. George Lucas, get ready. I think you can grab this back for 500 million by the time it's all said and done. Good work. I'm telling you, man. Go ahead,
Disney's gonna pay.
I don't even know where to start because the only thing that comes to my mind right now, the first thing that pops in my mind is the blatant fight scene ripoff of The Matrix.
Of The Matrix. Oh my God. I thought the same thing. I was like, wait a minute. I had to check for a minute. I was like, am I watching the Acolyte or The Matrix? I mean, it's literally the fight scene is right out The Matrix. Like, even with what she says, you don't want to go down this path. He tells that to Neo the same way when they're fighting. Neo, you don't want to go down this. I was dying laughing. I was like, oh my God.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Even as the master is fighting, she has one arm behind her back, just like Lawrence Fishburne did. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think in Acolyte, she has one arm behind her back.
She does.
He does.
The whole environment is like an old samurai wood like bar. The same thing we fought Lawrence Fishburne. It was all made of wood. And then even to the down to the when I think it was either she hit the Acolyte or the Acolyte hit the master, where they were crouching down and she slid back on the ground.
Yeah,
that was a ripoff of Matrix. Like, it was so blatant and so bad. I was like, so they either are this pathetic and uncreative, or they view Star Wars fans as so pathetic that we wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
So either way, it's just a lose-lose.
Oh, wait, I give you one more to digest. I'm sorry, because I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got to say,
no, you're good.
I'll give you one more to digest. Now, the part about the dancing in episodes, oh, Jesus Christ. The whole story is about a planet full of women witches that can conceive. And I thought, Jesus
That's my
Christ,
biggest problem.
This sounds exactly like Chavez America. The same exact thing. She comes from a lesbian universe where all there are is females, and the females conceive using cosmic magic. And these guys are conceiving using force magic. Oh my God. Like, I get it that they work for you guys. You know, it's just, you come back. I get it that, you know, they own the property now. But Jesus, I put that immediately. I was like, what the hell? What are they doing? This is literally right out of I couldn't believe like how they just blatantly ripped that off as well. They ripped off Chavez. Like, it's one thing that the Chavez America story was disgusting as it was, but then you're gonna rip that off and put it into Star Wars. It's the same thing. Literally the same thing. These witches conceiving. I can't. It's just like, and they're trying to make this canon.
I'm not even upset that the fact that they decided to rip off America Chavez, or the fact that they decided to rip off The Matrix. If you're going to do this, why not use the female planet that already exists? The Night Sisters. Why would you not do that? Why are you going to introduce this whole new group of people just to do whatever the hell you're trying to do that nobody can even figure out what you're trying to do because the story sucks so bad?
Well, they
And
don't
I
even
said
know
this
what the
to
hell
you,
they're
Mike.
doing.
I was texting back and forth with Mike, and I said, the problem is the actors do have some pretty good chemistry with each other. Like,
Yeah.
I can see the on-screen chemistry. The cinematography of episode 3 especially was good. I did appreciate, like, the shots. It looked good. But then you throw in the half-ass storyline, and it's like, so we're going back to Twins, we're going back to Matrix, we're going back to America Chavez, like all of these different ripoffs. Why? Why not just take the Star Wars property you have, which is the excellent story and like us against them, us against the Jedi story, and do the Night Sisters? Why not do that?
Could it possibly be like a rights or licensing issue? Why they couldn't do the Night
Well,
Sisters?
no, because honestly, they own Marvel too. This is Disney and Marvel. They
Yeah,
own
as
all
far
these
as I know,
properties.
they
So
own
they
everything
own
Star
it.
Wars
So
has.
they don't need permission to take something. But I mean, like, it's a blatant freaking. It's no it goes to show you these people do not know how to write. That's one.
Yep.
Listen, I keep telling Disney I'm ready to write. But I don't know if I'm gonna write for you guys because you guys really suck. You can't even get good writers to tell a good story. On top of that, you're trying to kill Star Wars. It's not even trying to kill Star Wars. You completely killed Star Wars, and then you're getting mad. What kills me the most is that they're getting mad that their fan base is made up of mostly older males. When I was telling you earlier, because I don't want to give away my age, but I was 6 years old when Star Wars came out. Okay, and I remember that thing like it was yesterday to me. And we were all as kids in the 70s waiting for this movie to come out. And when it came out, it dropped. It was like the best space thing I've ever seen.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what up, Alex?
Hey, what's up, DK?
And I was thinking about like even back then when I was watching Star Wars, because all we had back then was Star Trek, and that was cool too. Don't get me wrong, the old school, Captain J.C. Kirk's the man. That's the old school, Star Wars, Star Trek. You had that going, and that was great. All the way up to the 80s, even when it ended so well. And even when they came back for part 1, 2, and 3, I was a little leery about that, but they pulled that off too. But once Disney bought it, you already knew it was going to be a wrap. I said it from the very beginning, years ago. I was telling this to everyone I ever known. And this is before we had even YouTube. I was like, they're going to destroy Star Wars, guarantee you. And here we go. It finally took all these years, but we're witnessing the death of George Lucas's creation because this threat, they're calling the Force the threat. Make your own damn stories then. If you want to make something based on a universal force called the thread, then make it about that. Don't just try to use Star Wars. You see, these people, what they do is they piggyback off of someone else's hard work and try to write based around that, but they're hacked. Yep. That's the problem. You can't write. You have no original ideas. It's okay. Like, look, it's okay to be inspired and take ideas from things and, incorporate them. Like, but I'm talking about this is blatant ripoffs. It's not even like you're not even trying. You made a story that makes no sense. The girls that have been separated since they were children have the same damn hairdo down to the color of the beads. Come on, man. Like, you child. Like, how is it that you think people are going to sit here, watch this, and not notice these nuances?
And you've got $180 million and you can't change out their hairstyles?
Give me $1 million.
Put a wig on or something?
All I need is, if I was to get $1 million from these people, $1 million. That's it, $1 million. Leave me the hell alone for a year. I'll bring you back something that you'll make $1 billion off. It's not hard to do because I know exactly what the fans want. It's just like we were talking last week about the Barbie thing. Why did Barbie was successful? And I knew it was going to be successful because they catered to the audience. Why the hell do you not want to cater to the audience? If your audience is all male and let's say white male, who cares? If this is my audience, I'm taking that money. I don't care who you are, what color you are, what male, female. Listen, I care about making a product and people liking it. And we were all brought up on this. So, of course, you're going to have people like me who are at this age, who are adults, who grew up with it. Of course, it's going to have a huge fan base because it goes back 50 years. At least.
And I'm so tired of hearing the "this is for kids" argument because it's not.
It's not.
They're making this for the generation of people who have grown up with Star Wars. So you're talking all the way from back in 1999, all the way back to 1997. That's a long list of people. And then everyone who those people have gotten into Star Wars thereafter. So you're talking about 4 generations worth of people who are into Star Wars, into the lore, and now you're basically going to take that and slap them right across the face and be like, nope, this is the new lore.
Yeah, we're just gonna change everything. We're gonna make the Force so that anyone can wield it. So if you're a witch now, you can wield it. You can scissor and make girls, babies. And the funny part is, they're all females on that planet. So it's not even like they're making boys. They're only making girls using the Force. That
magic. Whole immaculate conception thing. That was I didn't put this 2 and 2 together, but it was done before because that's how Anakin was born.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but he wasn't born by any magic or sorcery. He wasn't born specifically to women, and he was conceived into the Force because of the fact that Anakin was like the chosen one. So he was already coming. You understand? Like in the lore, Anakin is already prophesied. He's prophesied 1,000 years before.
Like in the lore too, like Anakin was created as a reaction to what Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious was doing with their experiments. So in reaction to that, the Force created Anakin
as the balance to put everything back in balance. And that's why they keep talking about the balance of the Force throughout that whole series, because that's what they're talking about. Anakin was created to bring balance back to the Force.
Okay.
That's why. So his purpose came because of the fact that the Sith were so evil and they were so geared on taking over the galaxy that the Force itself was like, nah, we gotta even the playing field.
What the Acolyte did even worse because the way they explain it, it's just an obvious political agenda to like push wokeism.
If you can even say that they had a good explanation in of itself, like it was basically like I carried her. Okay,
I created her.
And did you see in that one part? After the girls tried to get those space candies and the mother said no and the other mother said yes. And then afterwards, did you notice how they had to put in there her gently caressing her face to show that they're a couple? It's like, did you really have to? Why is it so important to the storyline to show that they're a couple? It doesn't matter if they're a couple or not. It doesn't matter. Like, why put that in there?
Yeah, like they could just do it. I mean, like they could say that they're both mothers, that'd be fine. Just don't make it like basically.
You didn't need
it's
that.
Basically, calling the audience stupid in a way, like they can't see it that way. I mean,
not only
that's what I don't really like. That like the whole like in your face, like the audience can figure it out if they're a couple.
Look, I'll put it to you like this. When it comes to sexuality, I think as being a heterosexual male, I mean, like, I never thought about it or cared to, like, broadcast it out to the world. And I understand that there was a time in where you couldn't come out, and I get all that, and I understand that. I know, I lived in those eras, so I understand that. I saw it firsthand. But the problem I have with all that being said is that, okay, who cares? No one cares if... Like,
nobody cares anymore.
Listen, you're proud of your sexuality. No one cares.
Yeah,
I don't
nobody
care.
cares anymore.
I'm a heterosexual. I'm not gonna be like, oh look, it's Pride Month and I'm hetero. It's hetero Pride Month. No, I don't care. It's that my sexuality has nothing to do with who I am. Your identity should not be your sexuality. It's every year. It's every month. I don't know.
What month is hetero month?
I'm celebrating it this month. Heterosexual month. That's it. We need a month for the heteros now because it's getting ridiculous. I mean, like, I don't have a problem with sexuality, but the problem I have is that I don't care about your sexuality. Your sexuality shouldn't have anything to do with telling the story. I don't care if do you think that some kid who's sitting there is just gonna be like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I identify with? Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 people, but it's not the majority of people. Like when you're telling the story in Star Wars and they're telling it to the audience, you're telling that to a vast majority of the world, whether you're straight, gay, black, white, it doesn't matter.
It's the parents' job to help them identify with something. It's not media and entertainment's job to have kids identify with their sexuality. It's just like so bizarre.
Listen, to me, that's perverse. Kids should not have anything to do with this. Kids should be kids. Whether it's heterosexual, or it's homosexual. You shouldn't have any kind of conversations with this. As a kid, you have enough problems to worry about. Grow up, you'll figure it out as you get older. You don't need nobody putting inceptional thoughts in your head, and then, because I can tell you from personal experience, I knew a lot of people who are gay, and they wind up transitioning, and they don't even know why. And I'm telling them why. I said, you're doing it because you don't understand that you are making your identity about who you sleep with rather than concentrating on the person that you are inside. You can't find that person. And as a result, other people are going to tell you who you become. And that's how this whole chain gets started. Now, everybody winds up being like this because they're all being talked into it or convinced by one another. When in reality, you have to, look, sometimes you do have to find yourself, but I don't think you have to take all these necessary drastic steps that are done. Like you're doing irreversible surgeries that can never be undone, that you're going to have a messed up life. You're putting things in your body that just don't belong there, no matter, it goes against our nature. Even then, it goes against everyone's nature. We're human beings. We're not supposed to be playing. This is experimentation. When I see this stuff, it really disturbs me because I feel like kids are really going to be the ones who suffering from this because it's already presenting in their face, Oh, it's okay to be like this. It's okay to be like that. No, it's okay to be yourself. And don't let no one tell you who you are. And I'm sorry.
I think, but if they chop something off,
they
can just wait maybe 10 years and maybe Elon Musk will give him a Neuralink penis.
He's going to give him a new one called Elon Nuts.
It's going to be the Neuro Nut.
Your subscription is going to run out. Elon Nuts is going to send you a notification. You must give us $350,000 by the end of the year, or we're going to drop your balls off. There you go. So Elon Nuts.
Going back to the lore, how did the Night Sisters reproduce?
Oh, I can tell you because they
what's the lore there? Because I thought that
did they even?
And they do like a chant because they're supposed to be gathering up all their power. Because they tell you the thread's not supposed to. And this is the funny part: the thread's not supposed to be wielded. Yet when they're talking about it, they're wielding it to each other to show how it works.
No, that's in the Acolyte, but in the lore with the Night Sisters, how did they?
Like with Darth Maul and everything.
Yeah, with Darth Maul,
his family.
Is Darth Maul and the Night Sisters did they hook up?
I thought they actually reproduced with the men of their species.
Dathomir.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they're supposed to do it, but in this story, that's not what's being done. What's being done?
Just in the lore, though, like the actual Star Wars lore, they do reproduce.
They do reproduce because there's males
with each other.
And females. Right? There's males and females.
That's the thing. If you were to say, "Hey, we're going to have a planet of women, and they're going to reproduce through the Force or through the magic thread," however you want to describe it, fine. But don't sit there and make it so that every single woman has to have twins, and it's got to be two of us and one. And I'm like, okay, great. You're introducing more women into Star Wars. But at the same time, don't introduce them just to make it about one group of people, one subset of all women.
And in Wikipedia, it says the clan of magic-wielding Dathomiri witches were led by Mother Talzin and her son Maul.
There you go.
Okay.
So they just there you go. So it's ran by both male and female. It was ran by the male, and then they just took completely out the story. Go, oh no, we're just gonna change the lore, and we're just gonna change the story now. I think it's just so I don't understand who greenlighted this. I can tell you, Dave Felony, I'm going to call him, not Dave Filoni. Dave Felony, you committed a lot of felonies, my friend, because you literally said that you are, Leslie, Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, Leslie Helfer.
Oh, wait a minute.
Dave Filoni was my biggest influence on doing this.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
Male Dathomirians had horns, whereas females did not.
Yeah.
But the girl in Acolyte had horns.
Right.
But this
and she's
isn't
not supposed
Dathomir
to have horns because the females are supposed to be smooth.
So
but
then
she's not Dathomirian. She's from whatever planet that is.
she's a different
Garnock
oh,
or
she's from-
something.
Yeah, I don't. It's not. It's not.
It sounds like more of like a
Dathomirian.
Lord of the Wings type
Yeah.
like world, to be honest.
Oh yeah. It's a Rings of Power
And it says
consumption.
this
That's
is
what we're
interesting.
dealing with. Okay, yeah, that makes sense
Some-
now. Now I can really
some
think about it
male-
that way.
Some male Dathomiris were capable of rudimentary force abilities, while a few, like Savage, Oppress, and Maul, were exceptionally good at manipulating the force due to their training.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, like, introduce the Night Sisters or Dathomir or something, because where did Ahsoka go? To the Night Sisters. Why don't we just take a story that already exists and play around with that? Don't mess with the lore, but mess with the story.
Yeah, I would like to have more of the Night Sisters. I mean, they were a really cool introduction in the Clone
such
Wars.
an amazing part of Clone Wars. Honestly.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Right.
And
But
I
these
think
versions
Darth
of the
Maul
Night
was in
Sisters, they're
Rebels
just
too, and he did a good job there.
like some weird ass force
It
wielding.
said that there was different witch clans on Dathomir. So this witch clan in Acolyte, are they from Dathomir or not?
No.
No, they're not from Dathomir.
Like, why make it so confusing? Why not include it? And why not include Dathomir, the Night Sisters? Why not include all that? Why start something new?
Yep. And that's my biggest thing is
because this is what they're trying to do. I just put it to you like this. Think about the timeline. So 100 years before. So what they're trying to do is retcon the freaking past. And
It's weird that they chose 100.
Yeah.
It's weird that they chose 100 years before Revenge of the Sith. Because I thought the Old Republic was happening thousands of years.
I would have done it
no,
like
100 years before Phantom Menace.
Oh, I thought they said Revenge of the Sith. Because when the Rise of the Empire. Because wasn't the Rise of the Empire?
I've heard Phantom Menace.
Oh, because I saw that. I thought it was 100 years before the Rise of the Empire, and the Rise of the Empire happens after Revenge of the Sith.
So the 90-ish years.
Yeah, so it's weird.
85.
Because I thought the Old Republic was like thousands of years, not 100 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought that was such a weird.
No, but that's what. But Alex, you're right. That's what it's supposed to be. In fact, that's what I was going to say. That it should have been 1,000 years before this and up, because the Old Republic, you could have put this in the Old Republic, and it wouldn't have had no effect on the actual lore. Because a lot of stuff could change in 1,000 years.
Yeah,
and you got plenty of time to smooth that whole story out.
Like the
get it right
the views of the Jedi change.
Yeah. No, but the whole point is that.
Palpatine's already started his ascension.
Yeah.
Because I want to say he lives longer than a typical human.
Yeah, he's
Most
about
of the Star Wars characters probably live 200 years.
Yeah, he's about maybe almost 200 years by the time he's taken over. And then everybody thinks he's old. That's not what happened. He just got screwed up by the lightning from from
and plus the dark side of the Force also messes up with your appearance and everything because it's taking so much out of you as well.
Yeah.
That's part of the lore too.
And here's another interesting angle with the whole Dathomir thing in this Wikipedia. It says here, Malicos, who fell to the dark side of the Force on Dathomir, manipulated Merrin, wishing to learn their magic. When the former Jedi Padawan Cal Kestis visited Dathomir in search of the tomb of Kujet, like Cal Kestis, like everybody's dying for him to come out.
That's
like,
from that's from the
like,
video
why
game.
would
I love
Acolyte include the Night Sisters in Dathomir? It seems like such a shot in the foot. Like, why did they do that?
So I think the reason why they went backwards is because a lot of Star Wars fans have been talking about the Old Republic. They wanted to see the Old Republic. They wanted to see something with Knights of the Old Republic. And again, this isn't that.
I would have loved to see that.
But so they went backwards
for
that reason.
Originally, but no.
Because again, we're going to listen to fans, but still tell our story as much as we want. And we don't care if you like it or not. So then
that's
instead of going further back, they go 100 years before the Empire rises. And then they know that people like what's going on. So we're gonna kind of twist and turn and change and do this and that. And again, it turns into trash. You can only twist and
1997,
bend
all
shit until it breaks.
Yeah.
Everything breaks at
Yeah,
some point.
Basically,
and that's
yeah, it only bends until it breaks. That's like the
Yep.
saying goes as well.
yeah. I mean, like, look, I can see that. I can see like if you're trying to like make something that's a little outside of Star Wars, but that's not what they're doing. What they're trying to do is blatantly just change it from the get go.
Or
It's
did you guys?
exactly okay. I'm gonna
Oh
break
yeah,
this.
did you guys
Wait,
see
I'm
the
gonna break it like
article?
this.
Oh,
Go ahead,
that
Alex.
somebody in the article said, literally wrote this, that Star Wars canon is just a suggestion.
No,
That's
and
actually in a published article. I have to find it again. It's in a
That's
published
crazy.
article. They said that canon is just a suggestion when telling the
Canon
story.
is what you have
well,
to stick to. Otherwise, you go
if that's how
outside
you
of
feel,
canon and you completely ruin the story.
And somebody was trying to say too that Anakin, that Darth Vader being Luke's father was a retcon. I was like, no, it's not. It was a
Well,
plot
it's not the
twist.
original.
Yeah, it's in the original too. And
it's in the,
this was like,
right. It
I
was
think,
a retcon. It was
was
already
it
people.
Fords? I think it was on
This
Fords or
was already
something.
part of the story. Period. That's how it
Yeah,
always was.
Yeah.
it was
And-
so
Episode 4 when
like,
he finds out. No, episode is wait 4. No, it's 5. It's 5. He finds
Yeah.
out episode 5 because in 4, they pretty much destroyed his Death Star. In 5, that's when he first
yeah.
fights.
I lost brain cells
Darth
while reading
Vader
that
and loses
article.
his hand. And at the end of that movie, that's when Luke is getting his new hand, and Darth Vader is already telepathically contacting him, son. And they're like, father, son.
He was like, "Yo,
father,
what's up,
son."
dog?
So yeah,
Like, I know I cut off your arm
this
and
was something that
everything,
goes.
but I would like to rekindle our father-son relationship." So basically, that's how I went down.
That's all good. He told him this was what the whole.
I
Dog.
was really
Dog, like
happy
I
to
didn't know
see-
you were my son until the moment I chopped off your arm.
I was really happy to see that.
No,
so
he
many-
knew.
I'm man enough to admit that was my bad.
I like
Go ahead, BK.
I was happy to see so many of these more popular or very popular like YouTube analysts like Star Wars Theory, and have you heard of him?
Oh, I love
And-
Star Wars Theory.
And Star Wars Meg. Like those two were brutally hard on Acolyte, and I was really happy to see that because I was afraid of how popular they were. I thought maybe they'd kowtow a little bit to Disney, but no, they were relentless and they were brutal on it.
Oh yeah, they were.
I'll be honest. If they tried to say that it was good, they would have got destroyed. There's no way. Listen, this thing is going down by the second. The last time I checked Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score was at 17%. And now the other day, before the episode 3 came out, it was a score of about 21% for the audience. So you're talking about 18. I'm predicting that every episode is going to drop another 2-3 points. Because it goes by
like 17 right now.
I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm telling you right now, it's about the audience. You're telling me you don't care about the fans? Then you're an idiot because the fans are what's going to pay you. Can you imagine having the arrogance, the audacity for the people who are paying for your product to tell them that, oh, you guys are toxic. We don't need you anyway. Really? Guess what? Without these fans, you wouldn't be making no money whatsoever. And that's okay because you just show people that not only do you not care. Look, it goes back to She-Hulk. I'll go back to She-Hulk. I'll use this as an example because I don't say nothing bad. I don't say nothing bad about any shows, but I will say this much. I do notice when they're all led by the women, they are disastrous. And it's not my imagination. She-Hulk, led by the women. What do they tell you? Oh, yeah, we were trolling you guys. We wanted to troll you. This is why we did this. We wanted to troll the trolls. What? Why didn't you try to make the best She-Hulk you could have made so you could have got the fans to follow you for another season, buy your merchandise, build up your company,
Especially
rise up your
She-Hulk
stock revenue.
Die-hard fans.
Hey, but look, another one. I'll say this real quick. WNBA. You see what's going on in the WNBA?
Yeah.
The women are killing it because they have a girl who's a white girl and she's a straight girl and she's making them money. But the point is you guys are getting eyes on the product. And instead of being happy about this, no, they're doing everything they can to destroy this girl. You are literally cutting your own foot off when you're doing that. And I see this being done by everything that's led by women.
And
Sorry,
there's-
women, and you can hate me in the comments, but I'll tell you the truth. When you tell me that, tell me where I'm wrong about that. Tell me where
There's
you
the
saw
other girl
a
from
woman-led
LSU.
anything make money.
There's the other
Yeah.
girl from LSU who absolutely can't stand Caitlin Clark. And she had said, I'm just sick and tired of people always talking about her. I'm like, your jealousy is showing. I can't remember who it was,
Right.
but
And this is right.
she played
Right.
for
I
LSU
think
and
that
now
was,
she's playing against Caitlin Clark in the
Yeah,
WNBA.
you see, that's the whole point. Like, this is how irrelevant the WNBA is. We don't even know any of their damn names. Just Caitlin Clark. That's the point. You see how one person, she's a Michael Jordan. When I say she's the most valuable player, it's not like they just she is the absolute most valuable player in that whole goddamn league, period. She's got sneaker deal with Nike, $8.7 million. That girl's gonna get paid. She is the most valuable player. And you snub her, you try to take her off the court, and you leave her off the Olympic team. So good job. Because if this was
she's on the Olympic team?
She's not on the
she
Olympic
got
team.
snubbed off of it. She didn't even make it. They said she was a rookie.
Best female basketball player currently playing.
What the? I thought she was going to be in the
Olympic
Olympics.
No, she's not going to be in the Olympics.
Wow.
Period.
That is.
I'm telling you. Well, there you go.
That's surprising.
And that's the difference between female-led versus male-led, because I think at the end of the day, when it comes to the males, I'm not saying males are perfect. I'm just saying like this. When it comes to business, I am. Yeah, okay. I have to agree. I am too.
Oh, except for VK. I mean, apparently he's he is perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
He's the reason why I got on this channel.
Exactly. So I just feel like this. Like, I think that anything that's been led by Star Wars with women in the last 10, 12 years has been completely disastrous. And let's just face it, who's in charge of this place right now? Who's the president? Kathleen
Mickey
Kennedy.
Mouse.
Kathleen Kennedy. We would be better off with Mickey Mouse. Trust me. I'd rather have Mickey Mouse as president and CEO.
Dude, every time I think of Mickey Mouse, I know this is off topic, but I think of the South Park iteration of him. He's like a psycho, a sociopath.
Oh man!
Disney is rolling over in his grave.
All I know is that
underneath Cinderella's castle.
All I know is George Lucas is going to be able to buy back Star Wars at a discount. I just hope that this was his plan all along, to make this billions, to let them destroy it so he could buy it back at a discount and then bring it back. I don't think
that would be the.
I think he's too far up there in age to buy it back and actually make it work.
That'd be cool if he did that.
Nah, he won't do it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do it.
He won't do it because he's too old.
He's tired.
He's tired, man. That needs the rest. The force is gone with this one. So it's just crazy that the way that Star Wars has just died like in front of our eyes. It's like
dude, they even messed up. Like the only good show, well, for the time, was Mandalorian. Then they fucked it up in the third season.
I like Mandalorian. I did like.
Yeah, but the third season was just what the hell?
Bad Batch.
Oh, Bad Batch, yeah.
I enjoyed Bad Batch.
Dude, Bad Batch is still going strong, actually.
Well,
don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me. I haven't finished the last season.
But
wait.
Bad Batch is
Bad
good.
Batch?
Yeah.
When did that start?
It started like a month ago.
Yeah, it's been on. You better catch up, VK.
Oh
dude,
my God.
Don't spoil it. I haven't finished the third season.
And VK, we've been talking since season 1 about why is Omega so important. Season 3 is all about Omega.
Oh shit!
So
yeah, that's right.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah,
dude, I need to finish it.
Honestly, it started off slow. I wasn't a huge fan like I was Clone Wars.
Wait.
It was kind of like season 7 of Clone Wars for me.
Wait, did it end with Goggles dying? Or is this?
Yeah,
no, that's season 2.
That's season 2.
Oh my God, I can't believe I missed it.
Oh, now you have something to watch. And then maybe we can talk
about
it.
We
got something good Star Wars.
Wait, are we more in tune with the Star Wars than VK is? Because VK knew more about Star Wars than us in the beginning.
No, I never did. I just maybe was a little bit more passionate or more loud.
Yeah.
I didn't know more.
Because Chris always said you were the expert.
No, I just couldn't handle the wokeness. I had to get out. I had to separate myself.
The biggest thing that I find crazy about all of like Barbie, and I'm gonna even bring up Bridgerton right now. and I know my wife's going to hate me for this, but Bridgerton is very woke.
Oh,
if you've ever seen it on Netflix,
I never watched it, but
woke.
I can see it.
It
I can see
is.
us doing that.
I can't understand how no one has called it out, because they have a lot of black actors in a time period where there wouldn't have been black ladies and lords and kings and queens.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they do it in a very tasteful way. It doesn't feel out of place the way that they do it, because they don't play the racism card. They do, from everything that I've seen. I mean, obviously, I'm not up on it all, but they don't play the racism card. They act like basically this is a world that didn't experience, from what I can see, slavery didn't experience as much of a social rift as we saw when Africa first was colonized. It's very interesting, and it's a very good watch, honestly. Like it's what
my
you
sister
would have wanted.
It sounds like
my sister and her fiance watch it.
Yeah. Every episode I've seen while my wife's watching it is very engaging. It's very fun. And honestly, even though, again, it has that element to it, it's not done in a way that's woke.
Like in your face. It's not in your face and everything.
It's here's the characters. Here's some amazing characters, some amazing actors and actresses. And they address sometimes, like on the one I was just watching with her, the one person's from Sierra Leone.
Did Chris just... No, the wokeness got to him.
Yeah, he's giving away the woke secret. See,
don't talk. The Matrix is listening.
Yeah, they're coming to your house right now. We're gonna see.
Oh, did he freeze again?
Yo, that's.
We're just messing with him.
They're pulling him out right now as we speak.
It keeps freezing. There we go.
You got to stop talking about it.
So she says, like, you got to remember that I'm from Sierra Leone, but when we came here, we were kings and queens. Like, my dad was a king in Sierra Leone. So you're telling me, like, I want money for becoming a lady and all this, but that's not what I want. I just want you to respect him the same way you respect any other king that you come into contact with. And I was like, that was a little, not woke, but like, hey, this is the dynamic that we want. If you're going to call me a lady, you need to respect my family name. And that goes with anyone. I mean, if you want to give someone a title, you got to respect that name. So I didn't find it extremely woke, but I did find it like, this is very interesting that they would play this dynamic without as much racism as it could be. And I think that's why a lot of people are tuning into it.
So what you're saying is you want the racism? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No,
That was a joke.
I don't want the racism. I want there to be more stuff like this where it's not in your face, but it has it's well written enough and not in your face, because that's good TV. That's good movies. And it's not woke garbage.
Well, I want to know.
Barbie did it so well, it made $1 billion. Bridgerton's done it so well. There's like 3 or 4 seasons now and a spinoff.
Yeah, but
there's a spinoff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hell?
But you see, like what they did, right? What we're talking about. Those 2 examples, what you just made, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you're supposed to be catering to that audience. That's what you're supposed to do. This is your job. Your job is to make people like your content, like your product. And if you are that arrogant to believe that, not only that you don't need the fans and that they're toxic, like, you are literally cutting out, you're cutting your own foot off. You're taking away money out your own pocket. I don't care about politics. I don't care about the future. All I care about is entertain me. I want to be entertained. Make something that's going to get my interest for more than 5 minutes. Make something that's going to make me talk about it for years and years to come. And I can go through so many movies and TV shows that were hits that to this day people remember so fondly. And I'll go to, like, in the last couple of years of any movie or TV show that's made, and you'll get the same reaction, but in a negative way, because it's going to be about how awful everything's been in the last couple of years. I just think what's going on from my perspective, because like I say, I do work with these people, and I have sat in writers' rooms. I mean, I had actually thrown some ideas around. I'm not saying that they were used or not. I can't really say, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I go through everything that I've ever did and then I see little nuances of stuff, yeah, maybe. But the thing is that lately, when you see people trying to write based on something that exists, it's like there's no imagination. They don't want to know what happened in the past, which is stupid. Because why would you not want to know the lore that you're about to throw yourself all into? Because if you don't know what you're throwing yourself into, you're going to ruin what your intentions are going to ruin something that you may not even intended to ruin. But at the same time, there's a reason why this particular Star Wars has been around for so many years, because they did a good job with preserving its legacy, preserving the lore. I'm telling you, when you mess with the lore, that's it. You just destroyed the show. You're talking to people who grew up with this stuff and they have these memories and you're just tarnishing it. I see this one clip all the time and it's like, how does it feel to live long enough to see everything that you ever learned burning up in front of you? And it's true, because that's what's happening. Everything that we grew up with is being destroyed. And the funny part about that is that there's nothing new to come in its place. Not from these people, at least, anyway, you know, which is why I keep saying this all the time as a content creator, as a YouTuber, as a comic book guy who makes comics. Yo, keep destroying it, please. You're only going to make it easier for people like me who are up and rising to bring stories out. And they go, but look at this story, but this is garbage. This story is good. I'm going to pay attention to that. That's what I care about. I care about not just making something that's going to last forever, but I care about making something that's going to have, it's going to be good. I don't want to just make something. I want to make something that's going to be good, that you're going to be talking about. Like, even when I ended my first comic, I'm not going to tell you guys if you didn't read it, because, well, you guys read my comic, so you know how it ends. I ended it on what was called back then the open-ended story. I just had like that. It's a cliffhanger. Like, and I know people are dying to get the next book, and that's the whole point, and that's what you want. That's what good writing should always be about.
I like
That when I watch
open
the
endings. If
yes,
done
I
right,
do.
and you did yours right. I liked it.
Thank you. I think for my first comic and the fact that I wrote it like that, I think it came out pretty awesome. I mean, I was a big fan of how I wrote it and even how I left it on that open ended. And I can't wait, because when you guys see where we pick off right at book 2, it's gonna just like totally make sense. And I'm doing the same thing to book 2, how I ended it. It ended in a cliffhanger as well. I'm gonna be doing these kind of endings because I feel like suspense, like writing a good story is good.
Wait, are you saying the last issue ever is going to be an open ending? Dude, because that'd be cool.
Well,
just leave the series open ended.
Well, no. But if I tell you, I can't comment on that.
I like Geiger.
I'm not going to comment on that because then it's going to give away what else I'm going to do. So let's just say like this: you are right and you are wrong at the same time.
So
he's like, damn it, I have to rewrite the story now.
Nah, I don't got to rewrite anything. Believe me,
so my biggest thing, if this wasn't, and I asked this in the group chat, but I want to hear your answers on here. If this wasn't a Star Wars show, if this was, hey, we're putting out a new show, it's called The Acolyte, we're going to introduce all these new characters, this new setting, and it exists completely outside the Star Wars universe, like no lightsabers, but there is like this battle for the threat. Let's say that's what we're going to call it. You know what I mean?
Well,
exactly.
Like this is like a completely independent show, not related to Star.
Never doesn't have any lore behind it. It's just, hey,
it's like a completely new idea. It doesn't have the Star Wars name at all.
Yep.
Just think of a Rebel Moon like that. Just think of a Rebel Moon. So my answer to you is, I would have absolutely given it more of a chance, knowing that it was something that was based on Star Wars, but it has nothing to do with Star Wars. Yep. Like Rebel Moon. I gave that a chance for the stuff. That's the only thing.
I think it could have done better. Yeah, a little slightly better if it was just this independent thing. But since it has stars tied to it, a lot of people, like the fans and everything, of course you're going to get backlash if you weren't going to respect the lore or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if it was standalone, then I think people would have been a little bit easier on it. Like, oh, okay, like, oh, this is new idea, well, sort of, quote unquote, but and like, okay, it's not part of anything connected to any franchise. Let's just see what it is for what it is.
VK, what are your thoughts?
I'm trying to find there's a YouTube. I forgot a YouTube commentator that was like us on our level, and I'm trying to find him. So I
Okay.
wasn't really listening.
It's just like if Acolyte was its own standalone thing.
Yeah, I heard that part.
I think
heard that
Rebel
part.
Moon had the hey, this is going to be Star Wars-esque. So Star Wars fans went into it thinking, oh, this is going to be Star Wars. I'm going to enjoy it, and they didn't.
Right.
If this was just like almost
I would've
like
looked at it and said,
Babylon
"Is this a
5 or
Dune
something like
spinoff?"
that,
I
where
would
it's
have
just
looked at it and
totally
said, "Is this a Dune spinoff?"
okay.
To
Right.
me,
Yeah.
it looked like kind of a Dune spinoffy with
Yeah.
oh no, what is that other show that came out that was a wannabe Star Wars thing? What was recently out? It was
Rebel
kind of
Moon.
Rebel Moon. No,
yeah,
Rebel
yeah,
Moon.
a Rebel Moon spinoff.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And
So
guess what?
back then there was Star Wars, Star Trek, and then there was the lesser Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I
Acolyte
love
would have
that.
been the equal to Battlestar Galactica.
No,
that's
no.
being really mean
That's
to
just the
Battlestar
Battlestar Galactica, my man. I'm sorry.
Well, Battlestar
even the
Galactica
old
was
one
good.
badass.
It
No,
was
but I'm
pretty
saying,
good.
This is
but
like
I
Star
actually
Trek
liked
9.
it.
I'm going back to the 70s. I'm going back to the 70s Battlestar Galactica with Starbucks. You see,
Okay.
if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know Starbucks, then you shouldn't give up.
By Starbucks?
Starbucks.
Oh wait a
that
minute.
was-
What,
No, I'm
what was the
kidding.
other one? What was the
That was-
other space show where it was a guy and he had a friend, a sidekick, and his friend was like half hawk or half eagle? Do you remember that?
Rick and
one?
Morty?
I don't know that one.
What? No.
Like, I know there was Babylon 5. I think that was a Star Wars, Star Trek kind of show.
There was another space show.
There
And it was
was
a guy, kind of like a cowboyish kind of guy, and he was a
Yeah.
space pilot, and he had a co-pilot or a friend who was
That sounds like Firefly.
he had
I think
like
it's
he was like
Firefly.
half hawk or half bird something.
Yeah, I think that
I
was
swear to
Firefly. They were all like that sounds like Firefly. The guy the captain was a human and the crew were all alien. And they look like
sounds like you're
some of them look like
describing the Millennium
Henson.
Falcon, Han Solo, and Wookiee. And
He
Chewie.
sounds like he's describing Spaceballs.
But that's the show Firefly.
That's what's
Firefly's-
been coming out lately, and that's what people aren't understanding is Star Wars fans don't want another Spaceballs. We want more lore. We want
Well, Spaceballs
more
was
stuff
fine.
expanded.
No, I
It's
like
great,
that,
in my opinion. I love
it was
Spaceballs.
But you don't need to do it over and over and over again and tell like basically this feels like a parody of Star Wars the same way that Man and Webb felt like a fan film of Spider-Man.
Exactly. And you see the problem right there. This is why they do this. I'm going to explain to you why. Because everything we just said, could you do it? Yes. Could it be done independently? Yes. But it's not going to change the fact that it still sucks. That's the problem. It's that no
True.
matter how you take whatever steps you're going to take, the problem starts at the very beginning. It's how you write. It's how you're writing. That's it.
Yep.
Because good writing will excel always. Good writing, if you can tell a good story, you can write the story out well to the point that everybody's on board with what you're saying, and the ideas could just be easily, absorbed by the audience. That's what your goal is, not to cause confusion and mayhem, and you don't even know what you're trying to do. And the reason why that these people have jobs is because of Star Wars. If it wasn't for Star Wars, nice. If it wasn't for Star Wars, these people would be writing anything.
Who is this lesbian?
Making stuff.
Who's that
That's
lesbian?
a dude. That's the guy from freaking from
That's a Sio
man,
or
isn't it?
yeah, that's the
Is that a lesbian?
master. That's the
Shang-Chi,
master.
right?
No, that's a guy.
Yeah.
That's a guy,
like,
yo.
he-
That's the
he
dude
has-
from Shang-Chi.
Why do they portray the males as such this old, frail, weak, effeminate? You know what I mean?
I will
Like,
say in episode 3 they did go back like 16 years prior.
Because the Force is female.
They did go back
The
16
Force
years
is female,
prior,
that's
and he did look younger and more masculine. But like, I'm struggling so much because again, you have a really cool concept to play the yin and yang game with two twins. Obviously, that hasn't truly been done in Star Wars. Like you never saw that with
that was
Luke
cool.
and Leia. They were always on the same side. But to have this be like, this is what we do, and then I'm gonna go off and go do this. That was interesting. I'm excited to see what happens to these two sisters over that 16-year period that leads to this. I'm excited to see who the hell this Sith is that was just named Stranger in the
Let's talk about that. Who do you guys think
Like-
it is?
probably someone that we've never even heard of
I
that
have
they
no
just want to
clue.
introduce. In all honesty, like
The producer? No, I'm just kidding.
It's gonna be some. Listen, it's gonna be some.
He looks short.
I'm listen. I'm
He looks
never wrong,
tiny.
so I'm just gonna say what I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. It's gonna be some weird ass non-binary freaking alien that makes no sense to anyone whatsoever, and that's gonna be a new. And they're gonna make a whole toy. Like, listen, I got even more prediction. They're gonna make a whole line of toys about it, and the toys are going to just completely bomb. And
Wait,
so
I thought they
tell
would have canceled
everybody,
the toy
Christmas,
line.
if you
I thought they stopped
at
the
that.
toy line.
I have no idea. I'm just saying it. Right, so they already stopped this. So look, that goes to show you that I was even right. They didn't want to lose any more money. Great. They didn't make that mistake. But if you guys want to send me anything Acolyte related for Christmas, I will take that. Whatever you guys sent me, and I will go to the firing range because I got a couple of weapons I gotta I gotta warm them up and just shoot them. So
I did hear this Sith though. This Sith character, the eye color of the eyes are rainbow colored.
Boo.
if that's legit, I'm done. The amount, actually, you know what? If that's legit, the amount of memes that we can make about
girls
this,
in the rainbow braids, right?
the amount of memes that we can make about this will go through the roof, and our channels are going to explode.
And instead of electricity, he shoots rainbow.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it shoots rainbow. Like, what was I watching recently? I watched The Boys, okay? And I
So
wanna
is
get
that
to
a
real
ripoff
quick.
of
But there
Jubilee?
was one point where
Oh wait, The Boys season
would
4
say
came
so.
out.
But there was
Yeah.
No.
yeah, and there was one scene
Yeah,
where
it just came out
when
yesterday.
the guy was high as hell and somebody got stabbed and they were bleeding like animals. It reminded me of Deadpool. What we're
All right,
talking
guys,
about.
I'm going to be out of here in
that's
5
dope. I love
minutes
this
because I want to watch The Boys and some Bad Batch.
He's like, I'm out
Hell
now.
yeah, man. Yo, listen, I watched the first 3 episodes of The Boys. Yo, straight up, this show's fire. This show right here, we should review next week. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This show's fire. They got the whole, they made a Superman character that's a complete psychopath. Like, what would Superman look like as a psychopath? That's what you got as Homelander.
I thought that was Homelander.
Right, that's what I said. What would you have if Superman was a psychopath? You have Homelander.
Oh.
So that's what I said. They made a psychopathic Superman, and they made a whole show based on this. And I'm telling you, the writing, everything, it's like, but I will say they do try to throw woken stuff in there. It's not heavy, but they do throw it in there. You'll know when you see it. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what scene, but there's one scene that's
the speed guy was like
A-Train.
all dressed up as some like African Kwanzaa warrior or something.
No, not even him. I'm not even talking about him. Yeah, I agree with you on that, but not even him.
Yep.
No. You'll see. It's going to be in episode 2. I'm not going to tell you the scene, but trust me, when you get to the scene, you may throw up a little. But you're just being warned. Just know something's going to come and it's going to make you feel violently ill. And that's why I was like, Jesus, come on, man. This show would be perfect if you don't put these little BS's in. I ain't going to say it. It's too disgusting. When you see it, you'll understand. And then we'll laugh about it.
The good news is there's only 5 episodes left. The bad news is this destroys canon so much. So I just looked it up how old Palpatine was when he died. He was 88. So if you go back 88 years, this would have been the only Sith that was around was Darth Plagueis. And then that can't even be Palpatine as that Sith. So that
and Plagueis doesn't have that like his head shape is different.
Yeah. So his head is like very elongated. He's an alien.
Yeah.
So it could also be Darth Plagueis's master, but that doesn't really make sense either. So
or Darth Plagueis probably maybe the which I say he had another apprentice before Palpatine, and I don't know. Maybe
so you're still changing the lore. That's the point. You're trying to still rewrite the lore.
If you go back 1,000 years, this could have been any Sith you wanted to.
They would have did it in the Knights of the
Inquisitors were not a thing.
1,000 years would have been. Yeah,
the Inquisitors were not a thing at this time period. The Sith still ruled by the rule of 2. Like, it wasn't a thing. Darth Tyrannus wasn't around yet because he would have still been a Jedi if he was even alive yet.
Yeah.
So, again, you're changing
watch
the lore
it.
to the point
It's
where
going to be a taller
too
Yoda.
overdone.
That's how they're going to change the lore.
That's the thing that I've seen is that people want Yoda to be in this, which would make sense because I mean he's a Jedi Master at this time period.
Over
He's been
1,000
around
years.
for
He's like almost
when he
1,000
died,
years
he's
old.
Yeah,
927, I believe, when he
something
died. So
like
he's
that.
been around. But also
So, I
at
mean-
this point, though, he's still like he's at at this time in the war, he should be on the other side of the galaxy, like reformating the Jedi Council. That's what they were doing all this time, according to the books. That they were like really like because out of everyone, like Yoda he's the only Jedi Master who mastered all 7 styles of the Jedi fighting techniques. He's the only one who mastered all 7 techniques. So, but just give you guys an understanding of what that would take. That would take several lifetimes to master all 7 of those, and he did it. He's the only one to do it, and I believe the only reason why he was able to do it is because of his lifespan. That's it, you know. Yeah. But the thing about that is that once he'd done it, they're already like the Sith. They're hunting the Sith, and Jedi are like, you know, they're still maintaining their control on one quadrant while the Sith are rebuilding on another quadrant. This is the balance already being maintained, like the balance of good and balance of evil. And that's what I don't like about this, because they keep telling you it's not about good or evil, it's about power and who wields it. And it's not true, because if you're not born with metachlorians in your body, you cannot wield the Force. And I don't want to hear this about the string theory. This is string theory. They're giving us string theory in freaking Star Wars.
Shit, we're going to theoretical physics in this? Oh, snap.
Yeah. I'm telling you. String theory.
I got to go too.
All right,
so.
BK. It was nice meeting you, my man.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we leave, I think we can all agree that the best scene of episode 3 is when they started singing.
Oh, no. That was the absolute word. That's what made me tune out. Oh, power of one, the power of two, the power of shut the hell up. I can't deal with that. That I checked out right there. Once they started singing, I turned it off forever. So you guys let me know how it goes, because I will never watch it ever again. Peace.
Peace, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.